Theruvan Sannai, all blessings to all of you. Subhaktende, Subhaktende. So you managed to stay. Anyway, today is not a day I should be coming, but I knew that when I'm not going to come today, you're going to go yesterday, right? Because it's the 5 days. Normally you can see like a cycle, like 3 days, 4 days. The 4th day only you will get something possible. Okay, that's a normal this thing. Normally everything everything new, like the 4th day you can get. What you get here is, kind of some clarity, some spark, because you have been exposed to the teachings of the Buddha. So the Buddha is like a pointer. Those pointers should bring you very simple things, simple clarity. So, but that is, the minimum is not how Buddha has told. Even half a day, if you strive, you will get result. He has told like that. But in my own personal practice, this same thing you are doing, but in a slow and also more, we had to complete more Kandavaga. It is 14 days I stayed with my teacher. I had 2 weeks with him. So then I was very strict. I was the only one actually. There's no group. So I know nobody to talk, of course. But I even make sure that I don't look at the scenery. There's a beautiful scenery there, like the lagoon of Radgama. There in, Radgama Kalupudana. It was a very beautiful place, but I never look at that because it felt that also is distraction, a sensual thing. And only enjoy it through metta meditation only. And then reading, mindfulness, all this, going to the Dhanashala, the dining hall like this. I made myself, not everybody was doing like that. Of course my teacher was fully like that, full means more than that. But others also know I was not concerned. I was seeing this rare opportunity. It was a very rare, it was like some obstacles were there initially for me to come. But then I thought once, maybe I was not able to come there. So then I thought I would stay out of the island, under a tree, with a plastic bowl, going begging and get instruction from Bante. So, but anyway, I was able to stay with him because he invited me actually. I came to get some instruction and go to another place. Then he told me there are empty kutis here. It was like a dream for me. It was a very big dream. Then a dream that made me realize this life is a dream. It was very helpful. So it was like the 13th day. I remember it was a full moon day. The 13th day, some clarity. And these things inspire us, inspire all the way. It changed my life because the sutta, then suddenly it came to my mind, these suttas are the old Buddha. The type of teaching and everything what we are doing now is like, we have made it up. We have made it up. And also we have made it like, suit or make it popular. So now actually I'm giving a bitter, it's very bitter. You will be interested to listen to me or somebody else, but not read this, right? But going through this, applying this, only after a little while it opens up. Your mind gets used to that thinking and it opens up that. Before that it doesn't. It's like learning a new language also. Initially you can't just write essays or lines. Slowly you start with grammar and things like that, slowly. And then after some time you enjoy because you can do that. Same way this is more than that. After some time you get some familiarity. So 5 days is like something I made for the people. It's not really some sample. But for you it's okay. But somebody was telling, we have sacrificed time for other things. So if you're really interested, I would say if you really got some real this thing, I would think you will let go every other thing and really spend time. You don't know whether 2 days, 3 days we are going to live further. We must have this urgency. For me also, I feel it's like bonus, like 2, 3, 4 times, 3 times, 4 times, I nearly left. Even 2 years back, not last year. Even last year, a little bit, but I had to get oxygen and suddenly I had to come out of the room. I was like 5,000 meters in at Kailash. But it was not that very big thing. And went and near the, mountain, they gave me oxygen, but that was the time I really meditated. In that small clinic-like thing, there's no facilities there. So I had a Chinese devotee who was really looking after me. And they gave me, when they gave me oxygen, this thing, and the mountain is just close by. The energy, I don't know, I really went into good, deep meditation. So it was like, I was brought there, then we only spent one night, but it was very special. But previous to that, I found this different route. I was, initially bitten by a dog, in Delhi, and then, not dog actually, before that I think, I had operation for kidney stones in Rishikesh. So a lot of blood has gone. I didn't think about it. So the doctor told me, actually he didn't know I will go to like Kailash or Himalayas or very strenuous things. He thought I will do normal things, I think. So he said, you can do anything, probably you're okay now, like that. So anyway, when I went, suddenly I felt a tremendous weakness. So one thing I thought, maybe I'm old now. And then I was now planning, it's a very exertion, like a journey, 3 days to by vehicle, but slowly ascending. And so when I was going, before deciding, I was so weak. So all these Chinese, the devotee was there, so they were giving me all types of food to give strength. I didn't know the cause of this. Then it came to me that that operation, I have bled a lot. So that was the reason. And then I knew going like that is really, I will not make it. So I didn't want to turn back also. So waited, and there was another route where there is a flight to a military base close to Kailash. So that only risk is that you don't acclimatize, you suddenly go to high elevation, but you don't exert too much. So that's how I happened to go there, and then it's like few kilometers, not few, about I don't know how many kilometers, but at least 2 hours drive from airport to that place. So that's how I went. So now I started going even previous year, by that way. So we don't know. Of course, recently I didn't face. I faced, of course, this chikungunya thing. This is nothing compared to. But maybe I faced near-death experience. Facing you all. What is doing? So that's okay, no problem. So anyway, before, in the jungle, so many times I thought it's bonus for me. The elephant, I told near the elephant really grabbed me and kind of waited for that some years back. And snakes also, a lot of snakes. Nothing happened really. When I'm out only, I'm thinking, how did I stay? I mean, that place, sometimes so many opportunities for death to come. But it's good, then you make effort. You don't waste any minute. We can't, some people, they're gone now, who I knew. So today is your what? Today is your parachute jump? Where's the book? Let's see. Parachute jump. I gave this name because for me it was like, in the commandos there is a training where you have a mission as well as your training. So the parachute regiment, where they go on a training as well as they accomplish a mission. They have to come alive. So I think it's like a final kind of thing. This was the last instruction by my teacher regarding suttas. Like he used to give references of the suttas. So I have other references of how he has noted down, to create. So this, what I have given you all, actually, even in these 5 days, in this book, I think, I don't know whether all is there. It is a very, I found it is a very comprehensive, way for a meditator to hit the target. What is your target? To get that wisdom, to get experience Nibbana. So this is how I see. If you come from different backgrounds, whatever, you are given this thing. But this should be done at least for you all, I think, 21 days. Another retreat. If you really want to, really want to do something. Now at least, because I made these 5 days mixing up with some ideas of the Hindu yogis, what happens in your brain to read fast and all these things, mix it with that, and little bit for you to try out that. Okay, so you get some idea one day if you are even alone. So in case you never meet me also, I thought, okay, I give you this opportunity so that, it's up to you. You are the one who loves you so much, so up to you what you can, you do. That my duty is done. That's what I thought. So I always think like this could be your last. There are people like that who have come just, I will die in the retreat. I know there have been so many obstacles. And then later they are not there too. 2 retreat, 3 retreat, they are gone. Gone means, So anyway, but at least this is open now, I actually from teachers who really, had knowledge, not only, but knowledge for the practice, not just knowledge only. Did you go through one of those old explain, because I think you didn't have time previously, regarding the consciousness, the conditionality, how my teacher, is to explain. In beginning the programs, almost every program I explain that, make people familiar with that, so that they can, even when they come to a retreat, because it made big sense for me how to think of these suttas, there's a level of thinking, type of thinking. Sometimes we overthink. Sometimes we don't think enough. So this is the sort of parameter or kind of area we must get used to. So then that can, trigger that level of clarity and that type of wisdom. Also there are different, wisdom means what you see the reality. Okay, but reality is also relative. So this is kind of a final experience of reality. And Buddha has a purpose of seeing the reality, realizing the reality, so that because you get dispassion. Because he sees passion as the cause of suffering. His all this knowledge is not for one purpose, out of compassion, that people will, they will come out of suffering. So, we'll finish this. If you have time, I will go through that a bit, okay? So that regarding what Bhante explained. Because it's even 100 times if you listen to that and then apply, when you're reading this, it makes so much sense. Slowly it makes sense, and then it has a blast effect. Blast means you get it will be very striking. It should happen like that. So you have to live in solitude. All these things are important. I'm telling you the conditions. Silence, and there's times that many things can happen. And you will never leave. If you are leaving this and searching with other books and other ways of understanding, that means it has not happened to you. That's another sign. If you get an experience of this, the visions are there. It opens up to a dimension of wisdom. Not dimension, area of wisdom. So that wisdom is there. There's one path only there, So this, either you get it or you don't. So you are at least making way to that. And that's why the slight clarity, even in this retreat, there could have been. It depends on each one's background and all that. We don't know. So, but those slides at home also keep it, and you have a lot of time sometimes, you don't work and maybe a few days, then, this area not so populated, not like India or, even Sri Lanka is okay, but even better that way. And then who knows, in America, that can be your Tapo Bhumi, the land of your awakening. For me, it was Southern Africa, very also very lonely and It was very nice for contemplation. Your creative mind works when you're alone. One day I passed the street and I saw a lot of crowd around one person. And like to see, I also went and, before monk, right? As a monk, I can't do all these things. So, so when I looked and see this person under a street lamp, he's carving, what is this? Any type of anything you want, you ask him. Statues of gods, goddesses, Buddha, and all this, he would carve. And about 15 minutes he would carve very nicely and give. So the level of concentration is remarkable, and he could just focus all the ding around, and but he could do that. So now you have all. He had gone to back again. Yesterday in the program, it's comfortable there, I guess. And I think his supporter is in front, right? Oh, there, okay. So then, why? I was wondering how he managed to have that ability. It is he has been in prison. He has just been released from prison. So while in prison, he has mastered that. So this is how, if you want to really train, you must. Yeah, do something and then go and then ask forgiveness from the Buddha. I came to practice here, sir. Page number 34.
It's on the section 3, the last section.
Page number 34, it is.
In the end. Again,
Do this man, you have a book? Have you got a book? Yes.
6.7.
Already read? You were not supposed to parachute jump already. Okay. Single එක කීයද එන්නේ? So did you all finish? ගිලන්න අන්තිම පොත් පිටුවට එන්න තියෙන අන්තිම පිටුවේ. The last page, towards the last page, this is not right in the end. In English, I'm sorry, this 34 means sorry. This page is probably paging. Either
407.
407 is English.
In English is 34.
In English, 34, the last page, okay? 34 means the paging has been done, I don't think it's right. So just the last page in the English. And Sinhalese also it should be last page, 400 and something. Got that? No. You go to the last page, ඔක්කොමලා අන්තිම පිටුවට එන්න. පිටු එකක් දෙකක් උඩට ගිහිල්ලා ගිලන්‍ය සූත්‍රය කියලා ඇති ලියලා.
Attanagalla Sutta.
පතම ගිලන්‍ය සූත්‍රය අන්තිම පිටුවට යන්න අමාරු නෑනේ. අන්තිම පිටු හරිය තියෙන්නේ. ඔක ලේසි GPS එකට වඩා. කොහෙන්ද මාත් මන් දන්නේ. ඔන්න ශාන්ත වෙන්න බෝම්බයක් පිපිරලා නැහැ. හරි මේක පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න මේක පොඩි මේකක් තියෙනවා. චුට්ටක් ඉන්න. සිංහල එක හම්බුණා නෑනේ. ගිලන්නේ සූත්‍රය ප්‍රථම ගිලන්නේ සූත්‍රය. මම හිතන අන්තිම පිටුවේ නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ මේක. මේක නාර 319. හරි 319 සිංහල එක. හම්දුරට වැරදිනේ මොකද මේක මේ සිංහල එකේ වෙන සූත්‍ර දාලා තියෙනවා අන්තිමට. හරි. 319. Here. What to do? English and Sinhalese are not the same in the here. They have put extra sutras. Okay. 34, page number 34. As I told you, always relax, and it's always a contemplation effort. So when you're reading, be relaxed. Not only reading all your life, be in the moment. Only very rarely try to be in this suffering. What you suffering means like excited state. Don't allow yourself to be like that. Anxious, like enjoy this. Just enjoy sitting, enjoy staying, enjoy being, enjoy driving. So 34. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Vesali in the great wood in the hall with the peaked roof. Then in the evening, the Blessed One emerged from seclusion and went to the sick ward, where he sat down in the appointed seat and addressed the bhikkhus thus: Bhikkhus, a bhikkhu should await his time, mindful and clearly comprehending. This is our instruction to you. And how, bhikkhus, is a bhikkhu mindful? Here, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having put away covetousness and displeasure in regard to the world. He dwells contemplating feelings in feelings, mind in mind, phenomena in phenomena, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having put away covetousness and displeasure in regard to the world. It is in such a way that a bhikkhu is mindful. And how, bhikkhus, does bhikkhu exercise clear comprehension? Here, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu is one who acts with clear comprehension. When going forward and returning, when looking ahead and looking aside, when drawing in and extending the limbs, when wearing his robes and carrying his outer robe and bowl, when eating, drinking, chewing his food and tasting, when defecating and urinating, when walking, standing, sitting, falling asleep, waking up, speaking and keeping silent. It is in such a way that a bhikkhu exercises clear comprehension. A bhikkhu should await this time mindful and clearly comprehending. This is our instruction to you. Now this is what you mean. A bhikkhu should await his time mindful and clearly comprehending. Await his time means moment of death. Okay? So this is how you should be living, because habit works. This doesn't mean suddenly. So normally people, when you're dying, you will, these days maybe they will look for their cell phone, maybe to call 119. This kind of mentality, people have so much security with the phone. Okay? And so this is our instruction to you. Bhikkhus, while a bhikkhu dwells thus, mindful and clearly comprehending, diligent, ardent and resolute, if there arises in him a pleasant feeling, he understands thus. Now he contemplates. Okay, when he does that, not only he becomes mindful, he doesn't be in the present moment. Now the addition to that mindfulness, where wisdom comes, he analyzes, contemplates. Okay, these are the two things. I hope you have clear understanding. You have two things. You become mindful in the moment, it helps samadhi. And you add to that analyzing, contemplation. Then it becomes yoniso manasikara or sati sampajanya. Not otherwise. It's just be mindful of present touches or experiences. It will not bring wisdom. Even if you see the coming, going of impermanence, that is too sensual, too close to the body, that contemplation. too close to the senses. So that wisdom will not be powerful enough. So, but you have to first master that, get to that. Not for so long, quickly you can get to that. And then you add the contemplation. Okay, now it starts here. There arises in me, now he's here, if there arises in him a pleasant feeling, he understands thus, there has arisen in me a pleasant feeling. Now that is dependent. Now the thinking part of it, how it arises. He's first mindful of the immediate feeling he's getting, and then now that is dependent, not independent. Okay, dependent on what? Dependent on the very body. But this body is impermanent. Now you can, from other suttas, how you have understood, you can know impermanence. Why is it impermanent? The body, its definite impermanence. It's because it's one cause of it is karma. Okay, karma is what you intended and constructed. So it is a kind of a force, a temporary force. It doesn't, you have to keep on feeding it also. Creating karma again and again for this to manifest. So that if you have to keep creating again and again, it's not difficult. We have been doing this for so long. Now the difficulty is not creating karma. Okay? So this because it's a fluctuating cause, the result will be what? Fluctuating means it will, it will depend on that, and when it's not there, so it's again supporting karma comes, so it goes on. So we see like this thing exists. Alright? So this we have to think, we have to think a bit. So there you have to see the body also, why is it impermanent? Because it's bound to be impermanent. It's like that you have to realize. Okay? So because the cause, the karma is one, and other one is food. Alright? So you have to visualize it while you're walking, in your walking meditation. Okay, now that is independent, not independent. Dependent on what? Dependent on the very body. But this body is impermanent, conditioned. Now this one word will, you should get a picture. It's not just condition and you just don't think. These are pointers for you to think. Condition, dependently arisen. So when the pleasant feeling has arisen, independent on a body that is impermanent. Condition, dependently arisen, how could it be permanent? He dwells contemplating impermanence in the body and pleasant feeling. He dwells contemplating vanishing, contemplating fading away, contemplating cessation, contemplating relinquishment. As he dwells thus, the underlying tendency to lust in regard to the body and in regard to pleasant feeling is abandoned by him. Okay? So that is, if you get a little bit of wisdom even from that, okay, so slowly you have to settle down. It's not too intellectual. If you make it too intellectual, too much explaining, then you don't get that inner eye working. So that inner eye you have to work means in silence. That picture, the thinking, the Dhamma picture should come into your mind, and those things become very, very clear, in a very subtle way. That's why you have to be very subtle too, to actually get it. Bhikkhus, so I know when they have gone through this retreat, someone told me he was suffering from sensual thoughts and, this thing. He had done a lot of retreats and practices. But after this, he said, thank you, Bhante. This after that, now I feel quite better. I don't think whether it's completely okay, but much better. So I can understand if these exercises are done, definitely you have like impure meditation, all these things, okay. But this is a more, not only dispassion you get for pleasant feelings of this world, even the dhyan, everything you will be, you turn away because it's all conditioned, and you get that wisdom, a universal wisdom, where you attach to nothing. So this is targeting that. Bhikkhus, while a bhikkhu dwells thus mindful and clearly comprehending, diligent, ardent and resolute, if there arises in a painful feeling, he understands thus, there has arisen in me a painful feeling. Now that is dependent, not independent. Dependent on what? Dependent on just this body. But this body is impermanent, conditioned, dependently arisen. So when the painful feeling has arisen, dependent on the body that is impermanent, conditioned, dependently arisen, how could it be permanent? So I told you this kind of practice very helpful if you have trained a lot, especially moment of death. I don't think it will be definitely some pain. Okay, no one can imagine. So less attachment you have, more you can contemplate. I feel that this pain will come and you get anger. You have to prepare already. You must know your terrain, where you are entering when death comes. Because I have studied, we have even done these retreats 2-3 times. But many years they have been only following some deva, godly, God, following some kind of other practices actually. I didn't force them also. So I knew them from young age. But when I was doing this, they happened to come and start doing it. So she had a cancer, and then she passed away. But as a monk or a yogi, I would do some research about those people, what happened to them. So when last moments, she was feeling definitely, what is this anger with the pain and how is this happening to me. So this is not enough how they have done it. So I must tell you honestly, you see. So I think, according to my knowledge, even now with this practice, if you can detach from your family surroundings, and when you go, at least you try to get to that level. That detach means you are not affected whether they are, whatever they are doing. Like you see them from outsider. This should happen. You must target your level of mastery of this. Then otherwise, you are going to be, how can I just tell you, I have time to research and everything. Like my great grandma, when her son was dying, she didn't go there. They are so advanced. So actually they were associating very powerful, very strong ascetic monks. That's the very reason. What you associate, you become. If you associate commandos, you become commando. If you associate this thing, it will just transmit you. Even if you are a useless nerd, then you turn out to be, and if you are a great strong person, you associate someone weak, you turn out to be also, it's possible to go down. So association is a very big factor. So I must tell you frankly, you should be able to, get that level of detachment, then you're safe. In this life also, you live a very pleasant life. It doesn't mean that, you're really bored. No, you feel really, so you must think the level how much. So you have to repeatedly practice more. So people should see you like mad in Dhamma. People you see you're really mad, then you're on the right path. If they see you you must be noticed around you, you're really mad in the practice. Now, for me, no problem, I'm wearing a robe, so I should be looking mad. But you all, they look, it happened to me when I was before monk, not mad, they were worried, but in presence, they were also very nervous. Because character, confidence, strength, it will just, this weak mind will be, that's a weakness in their mind. Now when I went to the terrorists, the LTT, compassion is more powerful. No weapons, no thoughts, the people they will just change. They have to change. Especially human beings, if animals also react, then why not? So if you have faith about your compassion or your whatever conduct, why you worry? You go with a straight back. This is very important. So when the painful feeling has arisen in dependence on a body that is impermanent, condition dependently arisen, how could it be permanent? He dwells contemplating impermanent in the body and the painful feeling. So you can see, by inference you will know, you will see how the impermanence, when Buddha says in short impermanence, how do you see now? You see the body is impermanent. Why? Because food and karma, those two are, impermanent themselves. So if what arises from that, it can never be permanent. Soon the food or that energy that is given is gone, that also goes away. So then with that, the body is definitely going away. Then a feeling that dependent on the body has to go. It's not by seeing the feeling now arose, touched, now it's there and it goes. No. You see a general idea of the nature of feelings. So it applies to past, future, present, all times. Okay, that wisdom is a general wisdom. That's why that experience is called Virajam Vitamalang Dhamma Chakkung Udapati. Virajam means dispassionate. Vitamalam means free from taint. Vitamalang. Ada hambuna wachane theruma. Vitamalang, Virajam Vitamalang, Dhamma chakku mudapada. Eye of the Dhamma. Dhamma chakku mudapada. So eye of the Dhamma, I told you that the wisdom eye, that eye of Dhamma, how it is verbalized? Yam kinchi samudaya dhammang sabbantan nirodha dhammanti. Whatever rises definitely ends. Simply that. It doesn't mean when this arises, like this touch arising and passing. Not like that, not a specific thing in time or an experience. It is generally anything arising in time definitely passes away. So whatever arises, you lose passion. So it applies to the memories of the past or the future expectations or the present experience you're going through. Fully dispassionate. Your mind is filled with dispassion because it's filled with wisdom, not with consciousness. First time your mind is not working with consciousness, it's working with wisdom. Now you can see generally, I tell you, you get angry, inside your anger is there. Whatever you experience through consciousness, whether it's eyes, whatever you see, you feel irritated, Whatever you hear, you feel irritated. And whatever food also you eat, maybe sadness also sometimes, you don't enjoy the food, So that inner feeling, inner experience, inner thing is pervading all your moments of consciousness. Say your mind is filled with wisdom. So all your experiences through other organs will be filled with wisdom. So what makes wisdom? Wisdom will not make you attracted. You will not feel attracted to anything. That means you have real wisdom. Or you will not feel repelled. Or you are not in delusion. You are in a certain clear awareness. Realization. He dwells contemplating impermanence in the body and in painful feeling. He dwells contemplating vanishing, contemplating fading away, contemplating cessation, contemplating relinquishment. As he dwells thus, the underlying tendency to aversion in regard to the body and in regard to painful feeling is abandoned by him. Now this underlying tendency, that is the latent tendency. So if you have more clarity of this, the latent tendency is burnt away. So then even if you are normally like that, the experience through the organs, through consciousness is there. But the defilements, they don't work. I have told many stories like, where there are sort of impressions. After practicing, you go. Now after this practice, you should check at least 5 days. There will be some difference of your normal getting at least 3 days it should last. And it will last for your life. But that's like a seed now you have sown, so protect it. Make it grow. All of you completed the Salayatana Vagga and everything, no? Who couldn't complete? Okay. Bhikkhus, while a bhikkhu dwells thus, mindful and clearly comprehending, diligent, ardent and resolute, if there arises in him a neither painful, these are the only possible 3 types of feelings you can get, pleasant, unpleasant and neutral. Ardent and resolute, if there arises in him a neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he understands thus, there has arisen in me a neither painful nor pleasant feeling. Now that is dependent, not independent. Dependent on what? Depend on just this body. But now this can be also practiced when you get a samadhi. Samadhi is a what? Pleasant or unpleasant or neutral feeling. It's a neutral feeling associated with equanimity. So dependent on just this body, but this body is impermanent, condition, dependently arisen. So when the neither painful nor pleasant feeling has arisen, independent on a body that is impermanent, condition, dependently arisen, how could it be permanent? He dwells contemplating impermanence in the body, and in neither painful nor pleasant feeling. He dwells contemplating vanishing, contemplating fading away, contemplating cessation, contemplating relinquishment. As he dwells thus, the underlying tendency to ignorance in regard to the body and in regard to neither painful nor pleasant feeling is abandoned by me. Now this contemplation I didn't do for many, many years. So my wisdom went away also. I told you before, monk I did a lot, and as a monk I had to face a rough life, not by choice, not that. So then I used samadhi more for that. So it went on for years. So if this contemplation, analyzing was there more, that would have been better. Okay, so remember this, if you ever do this, because if you don't do, your brain also works like an arm, you do some exercise, the muscle builds up. If you don't do that, it will, wane. So you must, if he feels a pleasant feeling, he understands it is impermanent. He understands it is not held to. He understands it is not delighted in. If he feels a painful feeling, If he feels a painful feeling, he understands it is impermanent. He understands it is not held. He understands it is not delighted in. If he feels a need, let me read from the beginning. If he feels a pleasant feeling, he understands it is impermanent. He understands it is not held to. He understands it is not delighted in. If he feels a painful feeling, he understands it is impermanent. He understands it is not held to. He understands it is not delighted in. If he feels a neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he understands it is impermanent. He understands it is not held to. He understands it is not delighted in. If he feels a pleasant feeling, he feels it detached. If he feels painful feeling, he feels it detached. Okay? If he feels a neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he feels it detached. All these three feelings, because he contemplates like that, he feels. So once my teacher told me, it's like you're looking at it from like a distance. Now even in samadhi you experience that. If you have real samadhi, you experience things from a distance. You don't identify, it's not like you're watching, you are able to more watch the things happening. So because you are not having in samadhi also, you don't have greed and hate. Your mind is, neutral. Alright? So like this, so that is, do you have a level of dispassion you're having dispassion from the five senses. That's what samadhi means. Okay? Sometimes you might have opened your eyes even, but you'll have samadhi, it's possible. Doesn't mean only you close your eyes and all that. You have no this thing, then that is samadhi there. And bliss inside. So when you analyze this, what happened? You leave samadhi also. How far away you go? Now even samadhi experience, the distance you get, it is unthinkable. It is called achintya. Actually it's unthinkable. People talk about too much samadhi. I don't think it's good. Okay, you do the things that makes you attain it and you note it. You have a good meditation. That's all. So that, so the same way, with that, then you leave further dispassion from all construct or impermanent or sankharas. When wisdom comes, that is far away. You leave all, so that's more unthinkable. Vipassana knowledge or, this. Okay, so then, when he feels a feeling terminating, now look, when he feels a feeling terminating with the body, he understands, I feel a feeling terminating with the body. When he feels a feeling terminating with life, he understands, I feel a feeling terminating with life. He understands with the breakup of the body, following the exhaustion of life, all that is felt, not being delighted in, will become cool. Now he's mindful of the whole thing happening. Okay? So I would say we might not attain, or I might not, you all might attain. Okay? Then in case, that final ability to, be in that moment, okay, as a arahant, for example. So, but this is a good thing to prepare, that you don't think this and that when you're dying. You just learn to notice what you're experiencing right there and then. If you feel a fearful feeling, to notice that I have a fearful feeling. So now already when you train like that, that habit will work for you. I told you I had this altitude sickness and I thought I'll never make it. And that time, what I have trained like that, I have a direction what to look for, practice. All right. But with the elephant, I told you what happened, no? No? Your lunchtime. My goodness. And how is it from 11 to 12, right? Okay. It takes... Yeah, I know. That's how I take it. But I thought here there is a kind of a timetable. But you're in charge here, so no problem.
You are in charge.
No, I am visiting here. All right. I just covered this, all right? Today my last day, so I was wondering, 1 hour is quite a long time for eating. Do you spend all the 1 hour or just like half an hour, right? And then washing and things.
There's plenty of time, so.
Okay, I quickly. When he feels a feeling terminating with the body, he understands, I feel a feeling terminating with the body. Because I feel this group, all of them, they also, with the suttas, they are doing some samsara habit. They sense it that this is the guide, and and some of them know Pali and all that, much. It's a very unique thing, because that can't come automatically. So, but I hope you all can get from me how to, as a meditation, how it's done. It's like with Bante, they did it like that. So his teacher, they all were with the sutta, but they were most called. Gnanaloka Bante, he was also, they knew Abhidhamma and all these things, or like even commentaries. But my teacher, they stuck to the suttas alone and the practice, of course. He didn't, even externally, he didn't keep himself, bound by, he had his own samsara habit. 10 years he stayed in the island hermitage. I must tell that because we are supposed to stay 5 years. He stayed 10 years. Okay. Because so he fulfilled those things, and then he was 29 years homeless, actual homeless. He had no real, he lived that life. And when I met him also, he was on his charika. So this is after all this training I heard when he was in the island. No one, he was not there. But of course, he used to tell me how he talks with Jnana Moli Bante. They used to instruct him about the suttas. But they were also scholars. So he told you must add the knowledge of suttas based on your practice. If your practice, not to overload knowledge too much without the practice. Not to just practice only, because if you overload like that, you have doubt, and I have seen 2 groups coming to my teacher. One is who is doing retreats and they are really meditating, and they are in charge of those that in Sri Lanka. They have passed away now. They are old devotees of my teacher. Old devotees means they never got the instruction. They just venerated him for his life. They never want to learn from him. They had their own teaching. That's the problem. So when they were very old, when they had, they came, they were ordained also. So I found that their meditation was good, because they meditated. They were in retreat after retreat, and they were also conducting a certain system of meditation. Then there's another group who knew Pali and, very knowledgeable. They translate also the books into Sinhalese, because Sinhalese translations were not very good. So I see them. I used to stand beside my teacher as a layperson, and, so I know the one who had knowledge of Pali and all this, they ask the same question, especially about anatta, So they come next time, the same question. It's always still some doubt about something. And then the other group who come, who have been meditating, actually my teacher told me to look after him that time, and I used to see him in his room also when I used to pass by. He's in good meditation, like samadhi or analyzing or looking at the feelings or whatever. But when I met him, he had some doubt about the suttas also. Then I was wondering, what has he learned from? They have not done anything with my teacher, so many years, old devotees. But they have just, some lay people like that. So then later, what happened was when he came also, he was little lost. So because they had no knowledge to, like a map, you don't know, this is like a map, like a treasure map. If you really follow, you'll find the treasure store. Then you have faith, this map is correct. If you don't follow, it's like you never, know about it. So, so I found that these other people had doubt and they had this knowledge so much, and these people practice and they have, they also have, doubt. And so I thought both of them married, then things would have been okay. Then it was bed balance. But it's too late, they're all old now, so some of them died also. So you have to, balance these two. That's very important, okay? Otherwise your wisdom will go down if you just have samadhi and peace and all that. That's you can see here also if you don't analyze enough. So if you analyze too much, you have restlessness and doubt that other way. So you will have to learn. I hope you got that point. Then you are on the way. You get something for sure. You can't miss this. It is not delighted. Okay, it is not delighted. When he feels a feeling terminating with the body, he understands, I feel a feeling terminating with the body. When he feels a feeling terminating with life, he understands, I feel a feeling terminating with life. He understands with the breakup of the body, following the exhaustion of life, all that is felt, not being delighted in, will become cool right here. Just as bhikkhus an oil lamp burns in dependence on the oil and the wick, and with the exhaustion of the oil and the wick, it is extinguished through lack of fuel. So too bhikkhus, when a bhikkhu feels a feeling terminating with the body, terminating with life, he understands with the breakup of the body, following the exhaustion of life, all that is felt, not being delighted in, will become cool right here. Now he is already aware this is going to happen. This is Arahant, for example, okay? So my teacher, this was the last discourse he gave me. So, but you know now, to come to this, you have to keep practicing. One is mindfulness, and addition to mindfulness, also sense restraint, all that is there. Okay, here it's very much specifically told, sati and sati sampajanya. So that means, sati means mindfulness. Okay, there you, as your whole life, you must try to develop that. Then that leads to samadhi also. That leads to peace of mind. So to make it sati sampajanya, with that peace, with that mindfulness, you must add the thinking, analyzing the causes and effect. So the way the Buddha says, now even those feelings, when you are experiencing peacefulness or whatever, you see the cause of it. It arises because of a body. Then you analyze, this bodies are impermanent. Why? You don't just say because you've heard it's impermanent. What is it supported by? Daily you give that support. One is food. You must visualize that, how the food is there, then this arises. So if the food is not given, this won't arise. Like that you must analyze. Okay, the mental picture of analyzing. And then the karma, other one is karma. What you have thought, what you think, what you construct, that is the force also that is feeding this. Alright? So that if you don't give it, this can't arise. What is left, like an arahant, for example, what has been generated, the force is no more there. So this is the last body. Okay. So this, not too much. It's not that you understand this and that is nibbana. You have to keep on doing this, and it's in those days when they cut the hair, that experience came. Just cutting the hair. And even for Sariputta Maharathan Vasi, Upatissa, he was Upatissa, Ye Dhamma Hetu Pabhava, Te Sang Hetu Tathagataha, Te Sanchayo Nirodho, Evam Vadi Mahasramano, Ye Dhamma Hetu Pabhava. Any Dhamma that comes by a cause. That was enough. No explanation, of any Paticca or links. Then the eye of the Dhamma. So it's a kind of, but very important, the cause, this cause and effect thing only really triggers this, that it comes from a cause, that causes are impermanent. So this is a lot of explaining like this. So you just have to, not too much, don't make your mind too much, even think in the Dhamma. That's why I said, if you don't immediately understand, don't try to understand, just skip, go on, and you'll find very subtle, it's going to come in a very simple form. Very simple, you realize, so one sutta will quickly go, I will just go back, okay? And when you are reading and contemplating, you could feel, if you are relaxingly doing, this part of your physical part should be, working. Okay, relaxingly. So because it is very now even samadhi is this part. Okay, samadhi is not here, but hunger or food is this part of the body. So in the body also you find the upper part. So that part, it will become, of course you have, wait a minute, Haridakani Sutta, 25 page, in Sinhala Kirti. 22. Yeah. Before that, I remember a thing I told about in the beginning. because some of them you were not here, that's why I thought I will just explain to you this. When I was very peaceful and calm, my teacher used to explain. I tell this all the time, right? And I used to like this explanation. I used to sort of merge with it, and it became very meaningful when I was reading the original suttas in solitude. It was a very big revelation. Okay, I told you the big question is consciousness, all right? And I told you in slow motion how the consciousness must look. Like you have the ear object. This is one way of explanation. You can't really get a hold of it. It's working fast and it's simultaneous, something like that. But it's conditioned, that you must know. You have to have the organ, you have to have an object, and you must have the attention, initial attention. These three coming together, you have that attention is also the initial part of consciousness. Okay? And then with the attention, with that connection comes a sensation. Okay, that is called the Vedana, feeling part of the consciousness, the main factor of consciousness. So immediately there's a measuring nature of part coming in consciousness, judging, measuring, that is perception, as pleasant, unpleasant and neutral. Then immediately coming the reaction for the pleasant with greed, to the unpleasant with hate, and to the neutral with delusion. So that's called sankhara. Okay. For this only we get that idea of self, or idea of I, and so on. So this is a general idea you must have. So normally based on karma only we get the sense objects, to stimulate, to give a certain type of consciousness. All right. Like even coming to this retreat, you'd have heard from somewhere, and then you got an urge to come. These two things, you have the desire, and then you have an external thing coming to you. It's based on what you have done in the past as a result, as a karmic result. Okay, so you had some karma. Either you have been yogis going on this path, or that karma is coming here. If you can see it, the cause of this. Okay, or you had some karma with me, where maybe you have come to do something to me. so in the form of to make me distracted from my path. So this is, you must see there's always a cause. Now when I was going the park course, I was telling those gentlemen, I was suddenly he was also getting the same thought, that we must know it's not that there's a cause for this consciousness, type of consciousness to come. All right. So if it is not in the direction of evolution, we should know, we should not allow this. We have to make a choice. That's the now new sankhara. We have to be very firm and knowledgeable of, when we make this is present karma. All right. So because there's nothing so different from what your nature, what you're experiencing outside. I have many stories about in my personal life that we have seen something negative of the outside, and then I realized this is me reflecting out. This is another mechanism of consciousness for you to understand. So the faults are not outside, it is coming from this. Okay, now that's not a topic too long to explain. But so according to your karma, okay, then you come here, then you're experiencing the karma. Just have this idea clearly, okay? Even going to a certain office, or getting married somewhere, getting a certain type of family. It's not just, like I told you about rebirth also in a certain plane. You are not getting a very clear plane, clear karma is there. So sometimes you are in a state where it's also a birth, where that you have to get a clear birth after that. So then you are attracted, you see a mother's womb. When you're going closer to that, you feel like it's burning. So you turn away. So then you see an animal's womb. You feel comfortable. Because the karma is there to draw you there. This is just an example, all right? So when you are my teacher used to tell me, say you have done normally, so what you have done, be occupied now in normal life, in this life, that type of consciousness, okay, for it to go on next birth, you will get a birth that will support that consciousness. Type of parents, say you are doing business with, for example, that's how my teacher gives the example of a businessman. So the same business consciousness, of that work, such a parents who have business, maybe you be born there. Okay, just to give an idea. So, so like that, now even my teacher tells me, just when you're doing job now, We all be doing jobs and all that. So I did a job for 2 years. So he told me, if you only do the job only, without do the meditation while in the job, you will have to come to the job next life too. Okay? This is a job, or I don't know if you hopefully, I don't know, this will happen. If you have done good deeds also, and then you will not go to any other plane. This is very important. So so that's why while you are doing the job, maybe you should learn to do the Dhamma practice. Then replacing that consciousness. I did it actually, because I was already trained when I had to do the job, and my teacher told me this. So I went to the toilet and I did little practice. Then I go out and like pretend I was looking at a book, and then I do metta bhavana and other things like that. Yeah, I did all these things. It was very helpful, so that your consciousness is slowly. I didn't take that I should run away from this. I thought this was an opportunity for me to clear my karma. Like now I'm here. So then, so I'm sorry, I like you all so much, so that's why I'm making fun of you all, okay? It's not that you all are really clearing my karma, tell you honestly, because I am finishing, certain, this thing that I wanted to do for others, so it's happening, If you are not there, then I'll have to still be stagnated somewhere, okay? So thank you. Really, I'm not joking about that. So anyway, then, you have to get this idea, right? So this consciousness is a conditioned thing. One thing, it needs organ and attention, and then an object karmically has to come. Okay? These are always happening to you. That's why you're continuing like that. Now you know that what is predominant. Now even in this retreat, if you properly stayed in solitude, you would have got some memories of some things you did. Especially it's regarding sensual things or with aversion, which gross. If you really stayed in solitude, it should happen. Some disturbance should come. Okay, that is definitely karma you have done, strongly, because now it got an opportunity for it to rise. So now if you don't do, if you with the practice, you'll be able to, you replace those negative thoughts by the practice and this thing, then it gets washed away. If you don't do retreats and then you face, what happens? Just imagine. If you don't have a cleansing process of your karma through sila and samadhi and panya, what will happen? Not only accumulate in the last moment, without control, you will have a thought, and you will not go, you will not, be in a retreat there, you will go into, we don't know which kind of birth. Okay? So definitely you'll have to, because then you can, I'm sure you would have noticed unimaginable some deeds or whatever you did, it will come up. So those are actually, this is a process where you stay like this and then you practice, you clear your karma. Anyway, so now you have this in mind. When you die, you have two things happening. I have told this, okay. What I'm telling is, don't take it as some information. Try to apply to you. Okay, this all is very simple, and it's like you begin to just apply to you. Okay, so you have a last breath and a last thought. You have heard that, right? We all, that's why even in prison, when someone is dying, a priest is brought. Everybody wants to make their last thought good. All right, so there's a last thought and a last breath. So now, who has karma, they will always feel distracted. All right. And when you get distracted, that is the attention part that happens for consciousness to arise. Initial, this thing. So there will, then the object that will come will be your karma. The last thought is an object for the mindo. All right. So when you are dying, normal person who had done maybe good deed, just think of it. The last breath goes, say he has heard in meditation that you have to look at the breath and all that. He will try to look at the breath. Will he be able to look at the breath alone, or will he be distracted by a last thought? Okay. Think when you answer these things, actually, I know you have heard so many times, maybe in the previously beginning retreat, and try like you never knew, and like try to make your own mind to think how it will happen. Even when you read these suttas, it should be like that. You should forget my explanations, forget everything. It's like you first time meet the Buddha. Now I have got used to, because I have bad memory also, so easy for me. So to robot, go through the suttas. So, yeah, that's why I never like, the worst thing I fear if I'm born next birth is not hell actually. Going to school again. This modern school. I hope they make schools that are, Dhamma school by the time I'm born, Really, I'm not joking. I didn't know when I was going to be out of this school. Actually, my lecturers, one teacher really understood. He was like a soul, some connection. So he wrote in one of the recommendations, I sent my father to him because I knew no one will give good recommendations to me. He understood me and he was luckily the head of that school that time. I never forget Mr. Nisbat. He was really he would wonder what has happened to me. He really encouraged just the confidence given by the teacher, that time it helps you. So he writes, Shanak is searching for a stimulus and fulfillment beyond what we English call school. So he was right. So dreamy. So this thing, but he knew that there was something I'm going in, that this was too much narrow for me. So anyway, now I'm going to forget everything, what I was going to tell you.
Last thought, last breath, last thought.
Yeah, and that I know, okay. So what happened now, just to picture, when the last thought you get, and normally you might get, like if you're with family and office working like that, it could be one of your loved ones, or based on your karma. Last moment you get unexpected thought, okay? So that's mostly in the sensual world, because if you live like that, okay, too much. Then when the last thought goes, you have heard from some people, I must watch the breath and everything, and if you try that, do you think a normal person it will happen, or he will be distracted by the thought?
Because at the moment also we get distracted in our meditation also.
Okay, you get distracted, all right? So look at these two causes are there. One is karma. For the karma reason only you get a thought, last thought, okay? And then you have the nature of reacting, that is craving, all right? So these two are there, then you get distracted. Then will there be, is there conditions for consciousness to arise or not? This is the important point. There are conditions, okay? So then the consciousness arises, because we previously show that there's, for what consciousness, it needs an organ, it needs a stimuli, and then object, and then it needs attention, then only it arises. Okay? So always we are supplying those conditions, that's why we are constantly being conscious. Alright? So if one of them are defective or not there, it won't arise. So this is a big finding, because before Buddha, as Bodhisattva or as rishis or in India, they already knew they had to escape from this karma. So they found only another high consciousness to escape. It was still a consciousness. Normally, higher consciousness of samadhi, it is a higher consciousness, raising your consciousness to a higher thing. So the meditation, that was the only way. So there, Buddha saw that you come back again as a bodhisattva. Then how to escape from this consciousness? His unique, this thing was through wisdom. So that's a very, to come out of this cycle. So there are even also this, they call it pure consciousness in the previous time. Because no anger, no greed, but there's delusion. Because wherever there is a feeling there, that's out of the three feelings, neutral feeling, equanimity. So where is the feeling, there's a factor of consciousness. That's there. Okay? So this is a very unique, this thing. Buddha, so now, have you heard about, so last moment, the breath will go unnoticed by a normal person. So just think of another person. Have you heard of non-returner? A non-returner is supposed to not come here to the sensual world, but he's born somewhere else, right? He's not Arahant, that's why he's not Arahant. So when he has no desires, we know, in the sensual world, and he has, because of that, he doesn't get distracted by the sensual objects. Say when he passes away, can he keep his attention to the breath, or he'll be distracted? Distracted to what?
Yeah, because of karma.
Having some thought.
Thought of what? What is that thought?
Not to come here, the peaceful one, nothing
Okay, peaceful one. It's a feeling or not? Peace is a feeling. When there's feeling, there's consciousness is there or not?
There.
Okay. So that becomes an object for his consciousness, right? The conditions are there. Alright? So he born in Brahmaloka. Alright? So he also, the last breath going, he will not notice, okay? Say it happens to you that you are an arahant. You have no desire whatsoever, even to peace or any feeling or whatsoever. Just imagine yourself. When the last breath goes, will you be able to keep the attention or not? Just picture it, the breath going, your attention going there. No karma, no desires. Just picture that. So when you'll be able to keep the attention, okay? So just when you're keeping like that, will there be, you're not attached to the breath either. It's just anchoring it, okay? So then do you have causes for consciousness to arise? No. So my teacher is to tell, is deep and warn me. He explains this and he tells, is deep and he just warns me. And this will become very meaningful now if you read the Khandavagga in the future also. Okay? In this direction, how to look at the Khandavagga, you will see this simple connection, how consciousness takes body, feeling, perception and mental formations, the reaction as an object, and how craving is the gum, I call it the gum, that keeps it like that. If you take away the gum, it can't get any focus. Alright? These simple connections. So you have to live in solitude also for these things, okay? So if you just, if you go through these things, you're on a certain, what you call, this is actually will be yoniso manasikara. From the source, that means if you empty the mind, not too much thinking, and then read, and it could be any other way also. One, especially Nidhana Samyutta, where the Paticca Samuppada is, there are so many suttas, especially the second one. The third one had a very distinct to me. This is called like the Vipassi Sutta or something. It goes it goes backwards also in the Paticca Samuppada. So this one link, but you have to be a yogi. If you feel too much of your knowledge, this experience will be far away thing. And then if you don't only do the meditation and no reading and this thing, then also it will be far away. We just go through this just to revise this. Mm. 22 page, Halidakani. Having left home to roam without abode, in the village the sage is intimate with none. Rid of sensual pleasures without expectations, he would not engage people in dispute. How, Venerable Sir, should the meaning of this stated by the Blessed One in brief be understood in detail? Form element householder is the home of consciousness. One whose consciousness is shackled by lust for form element is called one who roams about in a home. Now in the Sinhalese one, they have cut short a lot, okay? So you have to put them one by one, okay? Because this is, you have to mentally picture how consciousness is getting as an object, body, feeling, perception, and so this you have to mentally have a picture of it, how it's informed, how it is taking object. So how, because of attachment, these are neutral actually. This is but stimulating attachment in you. So because you are unenlightened mind, you use it and get attached. You allow craving to arise in you. Okay. So if you remove the craving through wisdom, then the existence of this, it cannot exist. Alright. So let me see. The form element household is the home of consciousness. One whose consciousness is shackled by lust for the form element is called one who roams about in a home. The feeling element is the home of consciousness. The perception element is the home of consciousness. The volitional formations element is the home of consciousness. One whose consciousness is shackled by lust for the volitional formations element is called one who roams about in a home. It is in such a way that one roams about in a home. And how, householder, does one roam about homeless? The desire, lust, delight and craving, the engagement and clinging, the mental standpoints, adherences and underlying tendencies regarding the form element, these have been abandoned by the Tathagata, cut off at the root, made like a palm stump, obliterated, so that they are no more subject to future rising. Therefore, the Tathagata is called one who roams about homeless. The desire, lust, delight and craving, the engagement and clinging, the mental standpoints, adherences and underlying tendencies regarding the feeling element, the perception element, the volition. So mentally you must begin to see one by one. If I remove, okay, attachment to the parts, components of consciousness, all right, consciousness is made up of body, feeling, perception, like that, okay, engagement and clinging, the mental standpoint, adherences and underlying tendencies regarding the feeling element, the perception element, the volitional formations element, the consciousness element, these have been abandoned by the Tathagata, cut off at the root, made like a palm stump, obliterated, so that they are no more subject to future rising. Therefore, the Tathagata, now these things I'm reading very fast. You should read and stop and, apply. So, get a mental picture of it, spend some time like that. That's how it should be done, okay? And then maybe if it's something clear, you stand up and then walk. In the walking meditation, I gave you how with my teacher the walking meditation is done. It is taken like this from parts of the suttas. Okay, he tells these are the objects for Nibbana. That means this thinking is the object to realize Nibbana, for the Yoniso Manasikara to happen. So you have to have a mental picture of the Dhamma contemplated, and also you must meanwhile bring your attention to the present moment also. They should go hand in hand. So that that you don't go too much daydreaming and thinking and intellectualizing. You have to anchor yourself to watch your immediate present experiences. Okay, maybe the touch of the feet or how you're walking, like you're looking from outside, and then go again having the Dhamma picture in your mind, slowly developing that. Like that you have to mix, okay? It's the end of the day, but anyway, I have told this so many times. You have tried, I hope. Okay, just I mean, Kotika Sutra තියෙනවද කොතන මල්ලි ටක් ගාලා කරපියා. So this also I will just go through some few things, okay? Some people here new, so they will miss. I just cover some things. I'm doing in 1 hour, 5-day program also. Okay, this is my greed, to give you all this, and you all are pushing me too much. Coming here and there. What to do? Yesterday, we had, but I was happy, whatever it is. I come all the way. I am not coming. Actually, I'm not coming for any. I'm not interested. I am happy externally to go to India. Okay. Here, I have no interest. Tell you honestly, I nothing joyful for me. I have made it joyful. What to do? I have to do that. Otherwise, I can't do this. So, but the suffering is pulling me. I know people are, the suffering is there, sometimes more than even some people where they don't have food or anything. At least they get that and they're satisfied. Here it's like you have those things, but then, so the craving is increasing, so the level of suffering is increased. That's seen by noble beings also. They are the ones, I would say, some communication where to do this. And when they told this, now in the initial trips to Australia, I was reluctant. I was saying, why should I go to Australia? I can go to Africa, South America. I used to seriously think about it like that. Then, because people who have desires, they want to go on to this place. And I'm not interested. I don't say I don't have desires, but I want to overcome them. I'm seriously interested in that. So, but I had some idea. They explained to me like it is like going into a desert. That whatever Dhamma you'll be giving, it will be like water, giving to the... I feel sad, I can't speak about this too much, okay? It makes me emotional. So I'm glad, okay. So that inspired me. Then now I go happily, Maybe somebody might be thinking something else from their type of thinking. But actually I'm going, I know if I go, I can do some service, proper service. 33. Bhikkhu's form is impermanent. The cause and 33, right? Huh? No. Kotika neme. Not that one. I'm first going to another one. 33, okay. Page. Anicca mokadda? Impermanent with a cause actually. 32. No, 33 and the Sinhalese one is 32, okay. Impermanent with the cause. Now, this is the type of thinking for your contemplation. This is where, getting the Buddha's kind of idea. Because form is impermanent. The cause and condition for the rising of form is also impermanent. A form has originated from what is impermanent. How could it be permanent? So it's like, this is very important to get used to this. For your walking meditation is very good. Because form is impermanent. The cause and condition for the rising of form. So again is karma and food, okay? As form has originated from what is impermanent, how could it be permanent? Feeling is impermanent, perception is impermanent, volitional formations are impermanent, consciousness is impermanent. The cause and condition for the rising of consciousness is also impermanent. Now when you short what you need a body to arise consciousness, alright? So you have already, when you see that the body, that means body part of the eye and the external object, ear and the external object, nose and the external object, they are body, okay? So when you have known, it's definitely going to be impermanent. The consciousness that arises depending on that, now you have to mentally picture this, has to be impermanent, okay? So this is a kind of a realization you are trying to activate, stimulate in your wisdom eye. This type of thinking we are not normally used to. Alright, we are not being trained, in these modern times. So you have to get that. You have to go to that. It's a new, very new, but I don't think it's impossible. So as consciousness has originated from what is impermanent, now you go back, it has originated with the help of what? Eye and object, ear and object. How could it be permanent? You have to question yourself, how can it be? So it's like now this, we can notice very externally, very tangibly. Like now we'll be talking, after some time this is going to be finished. Okay? This is not very strong wisdom. It's some noticing of something. But here it's like, if you have this experience and very clarity in that, in your inner mind is already working, this is gone. I have heard, all respect to Ajahn Chah, Lumpo Ajahn Chah, I would say. Actually, I was inspired by, inspiration was there from Ajahn Mun, no? Ajahn Mun, because his way of life, and he also used khandas as one of his contemplations, according to what I read from there. But many things I don't, because there's some other things that I can't. In the practice of Thai tradition, the Dhamma practice, I was invited there actually. When they found that I am stressing on the suttas and so on, they didn't want to, because they're following ajahns, So anyway, still they are trying to bring me there. Because the Tudong way I really like. This is our life too, the Tudong life, but it should be mixed with the Tudong. More heavy Tudong is there in the Hindu sadhus. But that's not the only thing. That I call, you have outer purity and you should have inner purity also. These two purities we should have. It's more important the inner purity. Outer purity, even if you are wearing coat, tie, living, Buddha says even, if you have yoniso manasikara and liberated, that's a saint there. So that must be experienced. So once I heard a saying of Ajahn Chah, Lumpo Ajahn Chah, that's how you refer, right? Lumpo, that somebody was criticizing or commenting that he has nice glasses, like very nice ornamented glasses maybe. Then they questioned him, do you like these glasses, Lumpo, or something? He has immediately said, they are broken. He told with broken English, okay? But conveyed the real meaning. It's broken. Broken means it's all already if you're in that impermanent perception, it's already gone for you. Same way like this, that's how it should happen. This kind of contemplation leads to that kind of wisdom. Before it's gone, in your mind it is gone for you. So you don't attach to anything. That defilement won't come because of the wisdom. Because of the ignorance is absent. Okay? And so it's same, you not personalize if someone comes shouting or some unpleasant feeling. And also the main delusion is you feel this I am here and they are here. And that I and they, and that will be little loud. That's a very more subtle awareness you have to be. Because the impermanence have to be more realized strongly for that anatta to be established. That's also awareness perception. So based on impermanence only that becomes stronger. Anitya, then dukkha, then anatma. Feeling is impermanent, perception is impermanent, volitional formations are impermanent, consciousness is impermanent. The cause and condition for the rising of consciousness is also impermanent. As consciousness has originated from what is impermanent, how could it be permanent? Okay? So it's also suffering with the cause, non-self with the cause. Now really you can apply these things. Page number 40, we go. Arising. Arising. Sinhala pota kiyada? 40, yeah? 40. Sinhala is also 40, I heard. Arising at Savasti. Because the arising, continuation, production and manifestation of form is the arising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. The rising of feeling, of perception, of volitional formations, of consciousness is the rising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. Now when you contemplate this, it's like you are looking from nibbana or emptiness, and then you must think, or the mother's womb, empty womb first. Okay? So this, you have to visualize in that way. Because the rising, continuation, production and manifestation of form is the rising of suffering. So when it arises in your mother's womb, for example, okay, then only, something called the disease. It happens to a body. It happens to a feeling. Perception. You perceive and, the suffering and disease, the manifestation of aging and death. So aging happens what? To thin air. Thin air also is a material thing. It has a change. But I am talking in relation to our gross bodies. Thin air seem to not age. Thin or space. Okay? You have to visualize like that. Okay? This when the body arises, like you have never had a body, just imagine you're getting a body. Then you're getting what? Birth, decay, diseases. Okay? Like that. Start to happen. So like who have more finer bodies have not those grosser, but they have like birth and death. Okay, dissolution. Like the Devalokas, that's why they don't have insurance problem, nothing there. And not like here. So continuation, disease, the manifestation of aging and death. The cessation, subsiding and passing away. So you have to imagine also if you don't get a body, if you don't get feeling, perceptions, how blissful it is. Okay, you have to learn to like Nibbana now, slowly. Because not easy, we have not got used to that. Okay, we have got used to Nibbana. Our idea of Nibbana is like suicide sometimes. Okay, it's not like that. This like, in wisdom you must think, if I don't get a body, if I don't decide body, feeling, perception, how blissful it is, how. So you, very simply, it doesn't mean you have to get focused that way also. Not keep praying for it. Then only something can happen. The cessation, subsiding and passing away of form, feeling, perception and consciousness is the cessation of suffering and subsiding of disease, the passing away of aging and death. Okay, next by 41 page I will read that also. We read that, no? We have read that before somewhere. This idea we have got. Kotika Sutta, quickly, right? We have not much time. Kill page, kill. Here, the English one. Okay. 254, the English one. Singhala Hamanadem Kotaman. On one occasion, the Venerable 254, the English. This Mali don't have a book, no? Mali? Mali I'm because of you I'm reading this, all this. You have been yeah. One is you. Others I don't need to do. They have finished. My program is finished from yesterday. But I came to keep some people here still. That is one. So postpone the parachute jump thing. They were going to go from yesterday evening, you know. They have already planned. They are coming to see me what to do. It's anyway, by that way even they will see the Dhamma and the Buddha, hopefully. Kotika. The eyes are seeing like that. I am not joking about this. We are inspired by that. That's why we tell not is to go to the suttas. It's like an ocean. A vision can open up here. And you will be anchored to that great master, you know, through the Dhamma. No other. You will see, when I see my teacher as a drop in that ocean. Not that he's like this is very vast, you know, Buddha is alive here. Don't miss this chance. You have all this, you know, like still this is there. If this is lost, big problem. If my teacher is gone, if he lived also, we thought those days, such a person living example. But if this is lost, you know, the real map, the way to go, it will be, I don't think it will be, there no, you will hear to everybody's ideas, views and their experiences. That won't do. 254, Kotita. On one occasion, the Venerable Sariputta and the Venerable Mahakotita were dwelling at Varanasi in the deer park at Isipatana. Then in the evening, the Venerable Mahakotita emerged from seclusion and approached the Venerable Sariputta. He exchanged greetings with Venerable Sariputta, and when they had concluded their greetings and cordial talk, he sat down to one side and said to him, "How is it, friend Sariputta? Is the eye the fetter of forms, or the forms the fetter of the eye? Is the ear the fetter of sounds, or the sounds the fetter of ear? Is the mind," so all the sense organs, right? So they made it short here. Is the mind the fetter of mental phenomena, or the mental phenomena the fetter of the mind? Friend Kotita, the eye is not the fetter of forms, nor are the forms the fetter of eye, but rather the desire and lust that arise there independent on the both, that is the fetter there. The eye is not the fetter of sounds, nor are the sounds the fetter of, the ear is not the fetter of sounds, nor the sound is the fetter of ear, but rather the desire and lust that arise there independent on both. That is the fetter there. The mind is not the fetter of mental phenomena, nor are the mental phenomena the fetter of mind, but rather the desire and lust that arise there independent on both. That is the fetter there. Suppose, friends, a black ox and a white ox were yoked together by a single harness or yoke. Would one be speaking rightly if one were to say, the black ox is the fetter of the white ox the fetter of the black ox? No, friends. The black ox is not the fetter of the white ox, nor the white ox the fetter of the black ox, but rather the single harness or yoke by which the two are yoked together, that is the fetter there. So too, friends, the eye is not the fetter of the forms, nor are the mental phenomena the fetter of the mind, but rather the desire and lust that arise. They are independent on both. That is the fetter. So now what has happened in this retreat? What should be happening? Have you plucked your eyes and thrown away? Or something like that? the yoke has been weakened, hopefully. So if there's a real effect when you go out rather than other times, the same objects will be there, maybe more even, but how you perceive them and how you, sort of type of impure or defiled thoughts that will come should become less. No, I am not going to tell you. You should notice yourself. I don't know. If friends, the I were so if you continue to do these things, they will automatically. Now I also noticed like Manhattan, right? Manhattan. Last 7 years ago, I was passing that way too one time, 2 times I think. So I was very intense too, little bit. All right, because I've heard that it's like I was feeling some material energy also, and I was more like in a cocoon with my spiritual energies when I was moving around. But I could say this time I'm coming, and I'm not that like in a cocoon, but I'm more relaxed. But it's not feeling drawn. I'm not feeling also that I'm in some very different place. So of course I've been practicing from 7 years, from that time to now I'm doing, so there's good effect. That's what it should happen. Slowly your organs are there, but this thing should reduce slowly, naturally. So it's like a natural meditation it should become. Not that you're specially trying. I used to notice this from a young age, when certain like cities, especially a lot of stimulation. So I used to be intense as a young boy when I was like, I have to pass through them. And then after some years as a monk, when I passed through that area, I was wondering, I was not that intense, but relaxed and this thing. Then I thought, the city would have changed more stimulation than the time before that I passed this way. Then definitely those practices, living and done, it makes something to happen in your internal world. So you should be doing these things. But soon after here, if you do the opposite things, then what you have, that will be something not good. Okay, you will be better. If you find this a higher pressure, higher desire, higher experience. Yeah, some have not even removed their white cloth. When they go back, they feel it's an entire contrast they could notice. Like they were in another. Now I know. Now even after 5 days, you feel comfortable, right? Who is waiting to go? But I think it should happen that you can now like after the 3rd day it's a little tough, then 4th day something, 5th day anyway. I think we'll end here. Wait a minute. Did I finish this? Okay. Suppose, friends, a black ox and a white ox were yoked together by a single harness or a yoke. Would one speak rightly if one were to say the black ox is the fetter of the white ox? The white ox is the fetter of the black ox. No, friends, the black ox is not a fetter of the white ox, nor is the white ox the fetter of the black ox, but rather the single harness or the yoke by which the two are yoked together. That is the fetter there. So too, friends, the I is not the fetter. That's why I tell, if you practice for a long time, from young age, or you might have more trouble. Actually, I too had to face, I didn't expect it. As a Upasaka, when I was training, some thought, why I'm not ordaining already? I know my own personal problems I had. So because of the lay people, I was not going to, just to make them, I had my own path. I want to make other people happy or whatever. So they thought, once some used to remark, are you going to be Arahant and then robe? So, but anyway, I became a monk later, and then again, the things that I thought was dealt with happened to crop up. So when continuing like that, even certain later times, it happened to come again. I have told the story like how one monk told me to be like a flowing river, that the flowing river, when you're practicing, you get these challenges and disturbing things when you're really making effort. So some get so disheartened, they go back they stop the striving. Okay, so who have succeeded or go on this path, they continue. Mainly if you have too much ego or self, this thing, you feel something happened to me, or something, and then you really personalize this so much. But I have told, like, when you are striving, you have some difficulties, there are gems waiting to you in front. So if you can pass through that, you will know. So with experience, you know also. So he told me, okay, he actually encouraged me this Bhante. He said, yeah, you're so like a flowing river. So if you put something into the river, dirt or something, after a few meters, it's clean again. And you continue, and then I put a new idea. Mara also gets tired after some time. I'm frightened to say because he always challenges. Okay, so if you keep on, like even in fighting, if you learn to have developed so much endurance and all that, so how much you can take blows and all that, you can be a winner. All right. So same has something similar in this, and you are positively going. You don't recognize, identify with your failures. You just learn to not allow negative attention. That is very important. Just you pass and then you go. There who succeed, they are like that. And then when you pass, like I come to my observation, some idea. Maybe after 40, the practice becomes more powerful and easier. And then after 50, like that. But if you don't practice, I don't have young people here too much, but if you don't practice, according to my idea, okay, and this is my observation, after 40, these things start to come more. All these desires and distractions. And after 50, it becomes more. You can see normal people, the age of 70, 80, their minds are like, who have lived a worldly life, they are more sensitive, more sensually distracted. Especially in where there's no culture, where they have a spiritual kind of, this thing in the latter part, then they become more, this is a sad situation at that time. So this is a good thing to resolve. Even at that time, if they get an opportunity, like my father, for example, he was very much in that. So I waited for the time and give him that influence. Luckily, he happened to get that. Of course, he had done good karma to give me the blessings and all that. So then I saw that he became, quite calm and desireless as time went by. But I'm sure this is the karma of that. And I made him ordained and all that. That process all changed. Before that, something happened. I think it's dangerous. They live like, like it's not a very dangerous life, because according to some idea, if that way you die, this like an ocean, this chance miss. It's like where you go, we don't know. So that's it. Any questions you want to ask? Final questions? Yes.
Question regarding practice.
Regarding
Practice.
practice, yeah.
Yeah. If we want to do self-retreat at home, so right now we have like general idea after reading this book.
Not a general idea. You will be having a very comprehensive idea.
Yeah, comprehensive idea
Yeah.
we have like after reading.
Yeah.
And when we do this self-retreat, if we select some of the sutras that
Struck you. Yeah.
Touches, it means more related to
Yeah.
us. We felt more, and then we slowly practice according to that. Is that?
It's okay, but yeah, it's okay. You can, because that's something you got some hold of. So do that, but make sure that you have a sweeping again, because the thing is, you might also get stagnated in that alone, because that's like a key. I told you, it's kind of it kind of little open. That's why it related to you. So you feel, but if you need to open completely, maybe I don't know. Okay, so make sure that you try the other keys also. Again, while you try this, keep it, okay, and then try the other ones also.
And I have one more question again regarding that, because you mentioned that also we have experienced that when we come to the present moment, we observe that touching and like
Yeah.
some of the sensations or something like that, they are arising and passing away.
Yeah.
But that is only not enough for the realization. So we need to get the contemplation with the sutra in that moment.
Very good. I'm so happy. Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
This is the main thing in this retreat. How to get that also. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get the contemplation, and then actually this understanding, when it comes to the little bit understanding, I
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like that. So it should go beyond that vitaka vichara.
Correct. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
And also then you are should be deepened with the understanding.
Yeah, you should allow, you should never neglect sitting down and not thinking at all.
Yeah.
That is coming to more samadhi through metta or anapanasati.
Yeah.
And then you can go to extreme, like you would like to do that more and not read too much. So like that you have to bring.
And also, we have noticed that when we practice according to the way you taught us, that the collected mind should come easily, not like the before, because
Collected?
concentrated mind,
Yeah, yeah.
collected mind, samahita chitta should come easily, like because right now that we have a little bit wisdom, let it arise, that it correlates with the collected mind or samahita chitta, something like that. There is a correlation as well.
Okay. No, what you do is when you separately develop samadhi, when you're developing that, don't mix any thinking to that. Okay? And when you're thinking, contemplating, you do that separately.
Okay.
They will automatically mix. Yeah. Like in the walking meditation, because of your sitting meditation, this kind of, and also it affects how you ate, how you discipline your sense organs. So the quality, type of samadhi, all depend on your lifestyle. How you had more attention in normally walking and driving and going to toilet and all these times, how much you brought it to the present moment, reminding yourself. This will all affect. So I tell it will affect. I have practices like when I pass restaurants, for example. I tell in Sri Lanka you have a lot of pollution, like Asia, the emission of what is this? What CO2 or what? Okay. So and then I used to pass a restaurant, which like those cooks, they make the smell come out so much. Okay, so normally I make sure, because I breathe from my nose, so that carbon monoxide, right? Dioxide. I'm sorry. Okay, I will be inhaling that, so I make sure it gets trained and go into my system. So what happened when I was passing through this restaurant, this smell was coming. So what happened, according to my practice, I know that soon the smell comes. If you notice even there's a smell like that, you have already caught to that. Okay? You have to be so fast in your sense restraint. All right? So, because if you're already going a samadhi, you know the level of how it should happen. So, because you are non-involved with the five sense, this thing. Okay? So, when going, then what I realized was I started breathing through my mouth. I didn't care about the carbon monoxide, because getting this smell is worse than getting the carbon monoxide. It will damage my body, but this will damage my mind. So, but the problem was because when like that, holding those experiences, I can contemplate more, because my frontal cortex will work very strongly. So then I can, think how, to contemplate the Dhamma, how this experience, if I allow the feeling, how it is suffering, and so on, and about the impermanence of these feelings. Because if you get experience those feelings and then contemplate, then it's like you have, then I say it's like it's a broken sila, then you have broken samadhi. With broken samadhi, you have broken wisdom. So it's not. So it depends all on that level of sila concentration you achieve, the type of level of wisdom you get. So I was practicing like that. So then what happened? When I opened my mouth and started breathing through my mouth, because the smelling organs are mostly in the sensors are in the nose. So the problem was, when I opened the mouth, I don't know how it happened. It was going to my nose or what. I was getting the smell through the mouth also. So I decided not to breathe that moment. Yes. So these are some ways you should try to practice and know the level of how much you must. Even the food is like that. Food is a little difficult. So if you try those things, then some results will be there. Not couple of minutes, just tuck. Okay.
On behalf of all the attendees of this.
Oh, you're trying to, okay.
All the attendees, we would like to share all the merits that we collected throughout this retreat and our many thanks to you for your guidance and how to read the Dhamma and contemplate them, and also guiding us through the meditation, and also for providing us with this valuable book.
Not me, I am just coming and sitting here. There's a whole set of arrangement.
It's your idea, right, to get this one. So
Yeah, easy to put an idea, but to implement, there's a whole lot of.
I'm going to thank you too.
I'm not. I tell actually, I am not a good person of telling all these people who did things. I tell in Sinhalese, "Danno danit kiyenwane." ඒ කියන්නේ danno means there are people, whoever has done the things. When I tell about them, then only the merit goes. It doesn't happen like that, right? Now, say some people have so many people have made so much effort to this, who are even right now here behind that. So when I tell about who did this, then only the merit happens. It don't happen like that. It already happens because from their deeds according to nature. So, but thank you because it's a custom normally too. Okay,
And also Bhante Sudarsana and Ayas and other Bhantes.
Yeah, thank you so much
providing us
because
with this
to be open, because unfortunately, not easy for me when I'm now coming more into public. I am facing, I won't think if the Buddha came also, how much problem he will have now this time. That's why we have to come, because again, it's like very close and things happening. It's our karma is also there. Even Buddha had some problems like 7 days, and it was because of his karma in the past lives. So I understand that part, but I can see that if something coming in the society, trying to awaken, it's a quite of a upward this thing. There's resistance coming. So but we can't be frightened with the resistance. We must make sure we must please the Buddha with those qualities, with not criticizing, blaming, or finding fault. With compassion, we must forge ahead to death. If you have real compassion and making sure that the old teachers, masters, that they are not, you don't let them down. What they practice and brought to this period. This is a very serious matter. I have gone to death, and this is also death. And very important to get that virya. And you must not try to make happy the people who are not doing this. You must make happy who are doing this. You should have also any organizers, any people, but tactfully, of course. We must have kindness. All have struggled. Everybody is struggling, and we should this thing. But never this one. Slowly, with this delay or whatever, you must make it happen. It must happen. It must happen to everybody. Okay, because this is very important, and remembering all those great. Like my teacher told me, don't ask anybody what you are doing. Many years ago, I'm doing it so much late actually. Okay, don't ask anybody what you are doing except the Mahanayaka. We have who ordained us. When he passed away, he said, he's no more. Do it, because they were expecting we will do something, and if you don't do, then also, how? It's impossible. So that's where. Please, sorry. I'm getting distracted with my.
Thank you for your sharing your experiences and all your thoughts with us. Actually, that probably initiated a lot of thoughts in our heads too. And I would like to thank the organizers for initiating this retreat and providing us with all the books and planning this really well, providing us with all the amenities.
Yes, that's right.
And also making us meet with the country.
Having just even 7 years, they're having faith in me and waiting. I don't remember them at all. Not only them, even in Sri Lanka, it takes some time for me to recognize, and I feel embarrassed some people. Then I said, actually, it's honor because of my loss of memory. That's okay.
And lastly, I also would like to mention that all the attendees, we helped each other. They were very present, so it was
Okay.
very nice.
Which are last? When was it? This time. This
No,
time.
lastly, the mentioning.
Okay, right.
Yes. And all the attendees, they were really present and they helped each other. So it was really a nicely organized.
Thank
retreat.
you.
And please, Bhante, so I would like to invite you again to come and do this retreat with it is not your ultimate
Keep it a
desire.
secret, otherwise, Mara will hear this and then something will happen, chikungunya or some World War III or something.
I hope that you will come and do so.
Anyway,
Thank you very
but I tell you already, I would definitely want to come until my last breath to give push to this. But if something, this thing I have told you, you don't need me. You have this, keep it at your bedside. Don't delay. Okay? This guarantee I'm not just telling for many years as a young boy already we know this. Okay? So for your moment of death and everything, these things will be your real guide. And get bonded to that master here, through the Dhamma. So that should happen to you all, wherever you are, in whatever part of the world or whatever you are doing. Make sure do that. And I think you got the way how to contemplate it. That's the most important thing. Those days I have told people just to read, but I know they don't know how to sort of use it as a meditation object, the original purpose. So I hope that is now done, and many have understood that. So I think that my duty in that part is really done. So do it that way, you will never go wrong. And there are visions you can experience in that 2600 years ago, the very Buddha, more than seeing the real Buddha, you might see that. It is your Dhammam Pasati, so Mam Pasati, this experience. There's no need, nobody is timeless. You can know that. Some solitary time is also very important. A contemplative life, slowly you must try to make your life simpler so that you have time for this. And because that is the worthwhile moment in your life. All other busyness and everything, finally is nothing. So I hope, I wish you a good luck. And I can see some karmic connection because, this is definitely, so I really wish you good luck for your journey. And if I'm, wherever I am, my prayers will be always going for all of you. Okay? So for your practice, for your effort. And yes?
Is it okay, Bhante, if I ask a question?
Yes.
When I first
It's not okay if you don't ask me.
Thank you, Bhante. When we first met a couple days ago at the Princeton,
Yeah.
you said something about me that was quite enigmatic. I don't know if you remember.
I have a very bad memory. moment.
So I asked you a question.
If you did something bad to me also, it's good that way. It's good also. Okay, yes.
I asked you a question, Bhante, and you answered it, and then you kept talking, and then you looked at me and you said, you are a...
I
We'll
know,
do
I know.
something, I hope.
So what I say to you, don't tell to everybody. You keep it
I
to
know,
yourself.
but this is my only chance to ask.
No, it's okay. You continue your path. Make sure you get blessings from your parents. That's very important. Don't do anything that, that part you must do. And then whatever you do, but even if they tell you to do something that's breaking the 5 precepts, don't do that. That's how you decide. But with those things, you will achieve, you will reach your destiny, don't worry. Okay. Okay.
Is it possible to get the audio clip that we use for the meditation online?
Which one? Which audio clip? The morning.
3 o'clock.
I think you have to, the.
Sir, it's not a question.
Unfortunately, I couldn't come for any single morning. Okay, my health, like now only recovered. Like my bones still, something. What to do? But the recording is okay. It was very good, and the effect will happen. Yes.
In the morning session, that Bhante says the lower world, some connection with Chaitarani that you will mention in one of those, stories in the.
Vetrani.
Yes, but we never heard of that. The lower world that you experience something.
Not me. Yeah. I experience means I experience another person's experience. It was like another, like a yogi. He describes, he had some kind of experience where he had experience, he became conscious of those words. And the description matches with exactly what I know from what I read in the books. That was interesting. That's how it said there. So it's like really those words exist. Just I want to tell you all,
So even that yogi was not Buddhist, that did something like that.
Buddhists are also not Buddhists?
Yeah.
Don't you understand this?
Following the path.
Because you become realized to a certain truth, a phenomena. Then you lose normally. Now they don't discriminate me, I am a Buddhist or somebody who I associate. Okay, they have awakened also to some truth, relative of course, it's not maybe end of it. Okay, same way this one is also awakening to a truth. So I think I always tell Buddha was never Buddhist. We are somewhere else, we are seeing from, if real, I tell monks also, or especially my brothers and others, I tell, you have to become a monk or a yogi who is worshipped by gods. Not by human beings. They know entirely what is happening, how you are going, what everything. At least they know. So we have to come to that nature and reality level of making our life, and that we can do definitely. And also others must notice, like I told you, one girl in Birmingham or somewhere, Asian girl. She was a Sri Lankan actually. She used to go to this small shop and actually she had not too much money, and the shopkeeper, like a family who were running this shop, they saw this poor girl, she comes and buy a very small thing, but her presence was very attractive. They were feeling something very extraordinary about this girl. So one day asked, how are you so peaceful, and this thing, they questioned her. And then she said, I am a Buddhist. So that's the nice way to, so if you have a long face and everyone, they will think you're, from, I don't know, maybe 9/11, another one is going to happen. They might suspect you. Anyway, anybody else? Okay, yeah.
About earlier in my practice, there was a lot of striving. Now I feel that effort and striving is kind of creating friction. And so there's some faith that I'm being kind of pulled along.
A faith.
There's a sense that almost like Nibbana has a gravitational pull. Like there's nothing.
Okay. You will have more now after these meetings and this experience. But I told you, you must balance certain the thing. You must find out what is the next step you must do immediately right now. Your parents are there?
Yeah.
Who? Okay. I think you all were there 7 years ago. I know you were there. Okay. So that's very important, just not to put your idea, just find their gut feeling. Okay, what they want you to do, just try it, whether it works or not, doesn't matter. So it could be a certain type of career also, regarding career, just do that for now. Make them happy, then the chance will start opening. Don't go friction with them at all.
You're saying with my parents?
Yes.
Okay, I'm 34 now.
Doesn't matter. When you're 34, you mean the parents cease to be parents? What do you think?
No, but I just think they don't tell me to do too much.
Yeah, because maybe you're doing your own way all the time. So now they are like oracles, they have the gut feeling. You get some advice from them always, just place it, like, how is it, what should I do, what do you think is best for me, what can I try? While they are living, this opportunity for you. Some don't have that, you don't go wrong. Even after that you go wrong, then you have to go wrong for some reason, that's okay. No problem, don't worry. All right. Yes.
So Anansa, can we
I think now we have to go, we have to take Dana. I think, sorry. ඕනේ නෑ දැන් ඔය ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරපු එක මට වැන්දා වගේ. ගාථාවල් කියලා හරියන්නේ නෑ. එහෙම ලේසියෙන් බේරෙන්න බෑ ආන්දරට. ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න. හරි. දරුවන් සන්නයි. සුපත් වේවා. Because the time is passing, you'll have to go now slowly, mindfully. So all the merits you transfer to your parents, your relations, and all beings, there's hardly any being who has not been your parent, from the lowest to the highest. And all the devatas and the brahmas, all of them who look after these noble teachings, protect these teachings, may they get a share of this. And all human beings in this country and all other countries, the leaders, may they get this protection. And this great 5 days you have done is a blessing to this country, to the entire planet and to the cosmos. We are awakening the masters, greatest masters, instructions, put into your life. I think it's the greatest merits you can experience. May that blessing go to all living beings, especially human beings, get encouragement. Never to suffer again, from going from happiness to happiness. May you all get that strength. Definitely. Just relax. May all the masters, their blessings come to all of you. Devasena, Khatarvaram, Devundu Sakra, Devendra Sahampati, Brahma Divaranti, Chivaru Munivaru Siddhala, Gandharundu, Bhairundu Naganana, Kestum Kotiya, Alpeshake, Maheshake, Samyak Dushtika Devi Devatan, Mahansela, Maha Karunaving, E Perumpurana, Pain and Open Loki, Yasir Utuman Mahansela, May you get me Khalid, Satara Paitan Veti, Nivan Magi and Manushanta Diria Dahiria, Apejivite Puja Kalahari, Ampurnima Pratipadaving. Yasir Dinatama Pratipadava Vadikaranda Daire Shakti Labitva Sir Uttaman Mahanselagi Utum Shakti Bale Me Ratain Siru Manushanta Lokapura Manushanta Rahat Daji Mahimia Siripada Manudoe Satyanta Manushaloki Sir Dinatame Shakti Bale Labinda Uttama Putumata Manushanta Niyama Subhasiddhya Siddhanaka Buddha Mahathage Sri Pade Sri Sanketa Chakreta Namaskara. And all the Sangha and all the Upasakas get strength, protection for the practice to go on this path.